Back to the breakdown. Dylan Brown joins us now with his story of the day involving the Freedom Caucus. Hi there, Dylan.
Hey, Heather, how's it going? Yeah,
Great.
essentially, we're looking at last night the primary numbers that came in. Some lawmakers ended up losing their seat. One specifically is a part of the Freedom Caucus, and I kind of break down what it could mean for the state capitol coming up.
All right, let's take a look, and we'll come back with questions.
The media is going to attach whatever labels they choose: far-right, extremist, Christian nationalist.
A group of ultra-conservative lawmakers could get even smaller. They prefer the term Freedom Caucus. Their views often to the right of fellow Republicans. They've sought leverage at times by voting with Democrats.
The Freedom Caucus and their extremist agenda really changed the Senate because they were making demands that were very like this or that, take it or leave it.
Freedom Caucus member Dusty Devers of Elgin voted out Tuesday. He's tried overturning gay marriage, making possession of pornography a felony, even banning sexting nude images before marriage. He's filed under 200 bills, fewer than 35 passing. He sent us this video Wednesday afternoon.
The prophet Jeremiah told God's people to seek the welfare of the city where God had placed them, and that remains my desire.
And this was a few months ago.
Stand with the Oklahoma Freedom Caucus and let's get to work.
Shane Jett was term limited, so who knows what the leadership at Freedom Caucus could look like next session.
I thought he would win without a runoff. We went down and knocked doors in his district, and we realized just how insidious the mailers. I think they spent maybe close to $1 million smearing him.
Another Freedom Caucus member, Senator Dana Prieto, heading to a runoff in August.
Why do you think he didn't get the votes he needed?
I'd heard that people didn't feel listened to. They didn't feel like he was trying to listen to them, that he had a set agenda. And I think hopefully people are done with that. They're not going to let somebody be.
And Dylan joins us now with some questions on this story. So, Dylan, I remember the Freedom Caucus causing somewhat of a stir recently. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was earlier this Capitol session. There were possible cuts to Medicaid happening, which Medicaid's going to be a big thing next Capitol session. Possible cuts to be made to Medicaid, and the Republican leadership basically needed the Freedom Caucus's votes. And the Freedom Caucus was holding strong, saying, listen to our bills, hear our bills on the floor, or we're not going to vote with you on this thing. And they ended up not doing it. They went in the August primary, ended up not doing it. So they kind of held the Republican leadership's feet to the flames on that one. That was a big thing. So, yeah.
So if the Freedom Caucus does crumble, the coalition crumbles apart, what happens then? What difference does it make if we don't have a Freedom Caucus?
I think it was really just kind of cutting the Republican Party up a little bit. I mean, it's kind of what I said, where Democrats sided with Freedom Caucus, and then we saw the Medicaid cuts not happen. So it mixed up the state capitol, where it wasn't just Republicans, Democrats that it. You kind of saw a mixture of it. And Shane Jett, he's of the Freedom Caucus. He said that they're there for transparency and to hold Republicans accountable, making sure that they're as conservative as they say they are. So it's like a watchful eye on Republicans, I think, is what the Freedom Caucus has been so far. But yeah.
And so you talked about 3 different members in your story. How many members are there?
There were around 11. There's a couple. I think there's 2 House members, and then there's, I think, 11 in the Senate. But then there's also just lawmakers who vote along the same lines as the Freedom Caucus members. So, and then of course, so what I said was we've got Devers going out, and then Shane Jett, and then Prieto. He's got his runoff coming up in August. So we might lose him, we might not. Prieto was a huge voice when it came surrounding Medicaid, going federal, asking them to help us out. But he also was a part of the Freedom Caucus too. So the Freedom Caucus could go down, it could go back up. More people could come in next Capitol session and say they want to be a part of it. We'll have to keep an eye on it, that's for sure.
And for Devers' seat, who was voted out, now it's down to a runoff between whom?
It would be Dr. Jean Hasheen and Curtis Irwin. Got it right there. And they're in August.
You remembered.
I do remember.
Dylan, as always, thank you for diving deeper into your story. And this is just something we'll have to continue to follow.
100%.
Thank you, Dylan. When we come back, your weather discussion and your weather video of the day next.
Ooh.